It's Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. You're listening to the DX Today AI Daily Brief. Today, Anthropic snaps up the developer tooling startup that quietly powered nearly every major AI lab. OpenAI opens ChatGPT to your bank account. And Google takes the stage at I/O with a new generation of Gemini. Let's get into it.
Anthropic announced on Monday that it has acquired Stainless, the developer tools startup whose software has powered the kits used by OpenAI, Google, and Cloudflare. Founded by former Stripe engineer Alex Rattray, Stainless automates the creation and maintenance of software development kits, the libraries that let agents and applications actually use an AI model. The information had previously reported the deal was valued at more than $300 million, though Anthropic did not disclose terms. Anthropic says the move is about making Claude better at connecting to the outside world, as AI shifts from models that answer to agents that act. The catch: rivals lose access. Anthropic plans to wind down all hosted Stainless products, including the public kit generator.
Now to a different kind of access.
OpenAI on Monday launched a preview of a personal finance experience inside ChatGPT, opening the door for users to link their actual bank accounts. The feature is rolling out first to ChatGPT Pro subscribers in the United States, on web, and on iOS. It uses Plaid as the connection layer, with support from Intuit expected soon, and it already covers more than 12,000 financial institutions at launch. Users get a dashboard with balances, transactions, investments, and liabilities, and can ask natural language questions about their own money. ChatGPT cannot move funds or see full account numbers. The feature defaults to GPT 5.5 thinking, with GPT 5.5 Pro available to Pro users, which OpenAI says scored 82.5 on its internal personal finance benchmark.
Out west, the developer conferences begin.
Google's I/O Developer Conference opens this morning at Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View, and the centerpiece is widely expected to be a new flagship Gemini model. Investors and developers are watching for Gemini 4.0, a deeper integration of the company's Universal Assistant project Astra, and tighter agent-style capabilities stitched across Search, Gmail, Calendar, and Maps. Google has also signaled it will preview Gemini Intelligence for Android, a system-level AI agent designed for multi-step task automation, with rollout to Samsung and Pixel devices coming in the summer. The two-day event will also showcase Android 17, the next generation of Android extended reality glasses, and a new Android-based operating system designed to replace Chrome. For Alphabet, this keynote is its chance to convince Wall Street that the AI comeback story has a real product roadmap behind it.
And from Cupertino, a date and a hint.
Apple on Monday sent invitations and confirmed the full schedule for its Worldwide Developers Conference, which will run from June 8th through June 12th. The keynote kicks off at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on Monday, June 8th, with a limited in-person gathering at Apple Park. According to multiple reports, the headline this year is a long-delayed Siri overhaul, with Apple preparing a version of the assistant that behaves much more like a modern chatbot than the old command-driven Siri. Bloomberg and others say Apple is also opening the door to letting users pick Gemini, ChatGPT, or Claude as their preferred AI assistant inside Apple Intelligence features. Expect updates to every operating system in the Apple stack, plus new guidance on AI agents arriving on the App Store.
Now to enterprise software.
ServiceNow shares jumped 8.8% on Monday after the company used its Knowledge 2026 conference to unveil what it called a full-stack AI operating layer for the enterprise. The headline product is Otto, a conversational AI front-end that unifies search, autonomous workflows, and assistant-style help into one experience across every system on an employee's desk. ServiceNow also expanded its AI control tower so it can discover, observe, govern, and measure AI systems running anywhere in a customer's environment, and it opened its platform up to outside AI agents instead of locking them out. Bank of America initiated coverage with a buy rating the same morning. Bernstein analyst Peter Weed raised his price target to $236, citing the addressable market in workflow automation.
Meanwhile, the hardware story.
At Dell Technologies World in Las Vegas, Dell on Monday launched PowerRack, a new rack-scale platform that bundles compute, networking, storage, and cooling into a single integrated system for AI and high-performance computing. Dell says PowerRack can go from delivery dock to running live AI workloads in as little as 6.5 hours. The company also reported that its AI factory with NVIDIA has added another 1,000 customers in the last quarter, bringing the total to 5,000 enterprises, including Eli Lilly, Honeywell, and Samsung. Dell PowerRack for compute is available now, with networking and storage variants following in the fall. Add to that a new agent-driven partner platform that cuts deal registration from days to minutes, and the message from Round Rock is clear. On-premises AI is having a moment.
On Wall Street, a cautious note.
Bank of America, on Monday, reinstated coverage of Salesforce with an underperform rating and a $160 price target, sending the stock lower in pre-market trading. Analysts framed the call around the company's uneven AI transition. Salesforce has told investors that its Agentforce and Data Cloud businesses generated about $2.9 billion in combined recurring revenue in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2026, with Agentforce alone contributing around $800 million. The growth is real, more than 200% year-over-year on a small base. But the worry is whether agent-driven AI is enough to offset slower expansion in Salesforce's traditional clouds. Coming on a day when ServiceNow surged on its own AI story, the contrast underlined how AI execution is now the single biggest question hanging over every legacy software franchise.
Back to startup land.
Decart, the Israeli AI company, announced on Monday it has raised $300 million at a nearly $4 billion valuation in a round led by Radical Ventures, with participation from NVIDIA, Adobe Ventures, and Toyota Ventures. Andrej Karpathy, the co-founder of OpenAI, joined as an angel investor, alongside former Disney chief Michael Eisner and members of the Nintendo founding family. Founded in late 2023 by veterans of Israeli intelligence, Decart is building 3 products. There is a system called DOS, an AI optimization layer designed to reduce reliance on a single chip vendor. There is Lucy, a real-time interactive world model for video. And there is Oasis, a world model for physical AI and robotic simulation. The new round brings total funding to more than $450 million.
More funding on Monday.
Sigma, the AI apps and analytics platform, closed $80 million in Series E financing at a $3 billion valuation. The round was led by new investor Princeville Capital, with participation from Databricks Ventures, ServiceNow Ventures, and Workday Ventures. Existing backers, Altimeter, Avenir, D1 Capital, Spark Capital, and Sutter Hill also returned. Sigma says it recently passed $200 million in annual recurring revenue and grew revenue more than 100% year-over-year. The valuation jump from $1.5 billion to $3 billion roughly tracks that revenue growth. The most telling signal here is the cap table. Databricks, ServiceNow, and Workday are all infrastructure partners or potential competitors of Sigma, and their participation suggests they view the company as complementary rather than threatening.
And another European bet.
Paris and New York-based Dust raised $40 million in Series B funding on Monday in a round led by Abstract and Sequoia, with participation from Snowflake Ventures and Datadog. Dust builds enterprise AI agents that plug directly into a company's existing tools, including Slack, Notion, Google Drive, GitHub, and customer databases. The platform lets teams stand up custom agents that answer internal questions, summarize documents, and automate cross-departmental workflows. Dust says more than 3,000 organizations now use the platform, with over 300,000 agents already deployed, 70% weekly active usage, and zero customer churn last year. The pitch the company is making to investors is simple. Enterprise AI should not be a single chatbot. It should be a multiplayer operating system stitched across every workflow inside the business.
Now to the grid.
GridCARE, which calls itself the pioneer of power acceleration for AI, announced the close of an oversubscribed $64 million Series A on Monday, led by Sutter Hill Ventures. The company is building software and tooling to help AI data center operators secure grid capacity faster, an increasingly acute bottleneck. Global data center electricity demand is on track to roughly quadruple over the next decade, according to figures cited at Dell Technologies World this week, climbing from around 400 terawatt-hours today to more than 1,600 terawatt-hours by 2034. The International Energy Agency projects data center consumption could hit 945 terawatt-hours by 2030. GridCARE's bet is that the next constraint on AI is not silicon. It is electrons, transformers, and interconnection queues.
And finally, the advertising layer.
Zefr on Monday deepened its partnership with Meta, expanding its AI-powered pre-bid brand, Suitability Controls, into the Threads feed. The new capabilities give advertisers content block lists and contextual signals before a bid is ever placed. In an environment where Threads is racing to compete with X for the news and conversation audience. The announcement is small in dollar terms, but meaningful as a signal. Brand safety on a fast-moving short text platform is a much harder problem than on traditional video, and Meta is leaning on third-party AI classifiers to give advertisers the comfort they need. For Threads, more advertiser control may finally translate into more advertiser spend. That's your briefing for Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. For DX Today, stay curious.